Hey everybody, welcome back to our Elul New Light Activation. It is day 13. 13 is a powerful number, contrary to popular opinion around the world, at least in America, I know. The 13th is anything but unlucky. The 13 represents, it's a very, very powerful number, which represents the Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim, the 13 attributes, divine attributes of mercy. It's really, the entire Elul actually is characterized by the 13 attributes of mercy shining into the world. That really is the Kabbalistic perspective on God reaching out, the king coming into the field. So 13, it's the 13th day of that month of 13. And that means that things are today accelerated and deepened and in a kind of exponential holographic way. So leaning more into the awareness that the king is in the field, that there's divine love and divine intimacy, divine grace, divine compassion, divine desire reaching out toward each and every one of us. And that is flowing into the world in a whole new way today. Okay, so today I want to talk about aligning with your purpose, your destiny, and your desires, soul's desires. So to do that, I want to just really quickly recap the idea of lights and vessels. So light, this is a fractal, which means you could look at it in a number of different instances, a number of different perspectives. But basically, light represents the revelation of something, the potential for something. Light is like a movement of creative energy or a movement of potential. Let's just use a simple example. The light, when you have light coming out of, I have light on in front of me on my desk. So when you have light coming out, shining out from the light bulb is the vessel. The light is the revealed light is the manifested potential. And then the unmanifested potential, which is the source of the revealed light, is, let's say, electricity. We're just using this as a quick example. So your soul has co-creative potential. It has a lot of divine potential. It's carrying that. That's light. That's potential. But it cannot be manifested in a vacuum. That's why the soul actually has to come into the body in order to fulfill its purpose, to fulfill its potential. So the soul, it's not just that the soul is here for the body, but the body is also here for the soul, because the body is allowing the soul to fulfill its potential. The body actually, according to Kabbalah, is a higher source than the soul. So in order to fulfill the potential of the soul, that soul's purpose and power, it has to be in the body. And then the body becomes a general vessel for the soul. What does that mean? That the potential of the soul is now within the body, like the potential of electricity is now within the light bulb. Now, can electricity do things other than make a light bulb go on? 100%. The electricity is a potential. It is in that sense, it's light, not just like the light that shines out of a lamp, but it's actually potential equals light. The underlying potential, the underlying energy of something is the light, and the vessel is that which allows it to manifest. So if you think about the light bulb, electricity light bulb example, you can see that electricity is not only manifested as light by the light bulb, but it's the light bulb itself that controls how the electricity shows up. So the electricity is there as a potential. It doesn't do anything without a vessel. Maybe the vessel might be a motor or an electric toothbrush or a stove or whatever, but the electricity by itself, which in this example, this analogy we're calling light, because it's a potential, needs a vessel in order to show up in any way at all. If it doesn't have a vessel, it cannot do anything. And yet you can see that the vessel, although the vessel is far smaller, more finite, more defined, more limited, than the vast potential. A light bulb is so much more limited than the vast potential of electricity. Nevertheless, the vessel has the power to shape the light. If the vessel's broken, the light can't shine. If the vessel's distorted or cloudy, the light won't shine in its fullness. If the vessel's not there at all, or if it's too small for the amount of, power coming through it, light coming through it, for example, 10,000 amps in a 60-watt bulb, the vessel will break. So this relationship, this alignment, which is the topic for today, alignment and congruence, this alignment is super important. And the nature of the vessel, the shape, the intention, the quality, the characteristics are literally going to determine how the light manifests in the world. So again, is your soul from a higher source than your body? On one level, yes. On another level, no. But we certainly think of the soul as bigger. It has more potential than the body. The soul would be like the light. The body would be like the vessel. But nevertheless, your body, including your consciousness, including your emotions, including your physical, strength, attributes, your physical location, your resources, your relationships, those are all vessels that either will shine and enhance, manifest some of the light of your soul, or will hide it. Now, in truth, we do both. But what we want to do is to align our vessels more and more. In this case, just as I said now, our consciousness, our emotions, our body, our behaviors, our practices, our habits, our relationships, our what we take in, the information we take in, the communities that we're connected to, all of those are vessels for the light of the soul. And in turn, the light of the soul and all of those things are vessels for the revelation of God. It's really so amazing when you think about it, because when you look at it from this simple, accurate, technical perspective, from the lens of Kabbalah, you really are like a switch that turns like one of those dimmer switches. So it's not just that you turn on or off the light of God. The fact that you're alive manifests a certain amount of that light, but is it brighter, brighter, brighter? Is it dimmer, dimmer, dimmer? On that infinite scale, is it looking like what it is, or is it looking like what it's not? Like the light of the soul can come out like anger, like control, like cruelty, like barbarism. It does sometimes, right? So that's a very distorted vessel. So the vessels, we want them to exist, to expand as much as possible, and to be as pure and clean as possible, as clear as possible, so that the light can shine and look like what it is, so that your soul can manifest in your body in accordance with its purpose and desire, why it keeps coming back into your body, because of a purpose, because of a desire. And that's the destiny. So we want to work toward an alignment between the soul and the body, between the mind and the heart, between the emotions, the intentions, and the actions, between the potential and the actual, between our destiny and what we actually manifest and focus on. So you can make this as big and macro, or as tiny, intricately detailed and micro as you want. It's all true, because vessels exist at all different kinds of levels. Really, it's holographic. It comes down to not only the cells, not only the molecules, the atoms, the subatomic particles, even the energy, the Planck energy is all these are all vessels. Planck energy is probably more like light, but how is it going to form? How is it going to come out and manifest in the physical world, which is the target for creation? That's really depends upon how perfect the system is, how clear the system is, how upgraded the system is. So I want to bring out the next thought, that when it comes to your soul manifesting in your body, there are really only 3 ways that your soul can do that. Think about this. It's so simple, but it's very powerful also. So your soul, even when it's in the body, it makes you alive. So it kind of comes into the body in stages. The first one is called Chayas Nefesh Baguf, the life force of the soul in the body. It brings life to the body, but at that stage, at that like cosmic stage of creation, the body's not doing anything. The soul's not doing anything in the body. It's just providing simple light, simple life in the vessel. So after that point, the next stage is for the soul to connect to illuminate, to fix itself in the different parts of your body. So the soul's power of vision would go in your eyes or in your right brain. The soul's power of movement would go, in every way, every part of you. The soul's power of walking would go in your feet. The soul's power of grasping would go in your hands and also in your left brain, which grasps. So at that point, the soul is going into doing. But that's all still all internal. That's between the soul and the body, but nothing happens on the outside. It's just that the powers of the soul, first the life force of the soul goes in the body, then the kochos and nefesh, the powers of the soul, distribute themselves and kind of bind themselves, seat themselves in the different parts of your body so that each of the attribute, the soul has all of these powers as a soul, but in order to distribute them into the body, they have to each be kind of bound and resident. They have to each reside in the right part of the body. That's the way the body works. That's the only way the body works. But that's still internal between the soul and the body. That's between you and you. But in order for the soul to actually express anything, because it comes into the world to do something, to make something happen, to express, to make a difference, to experience. So for that to happen, there has to be another level. There has to be another level. And the three ways that that can happen, the three ways that represent that next level of the soul, of his objects of the soul and clothing the body, these three ways are called the garments of the soul, the clothing of the soul. So I'll ask you a quiz. What do you think those are? What are the garments of the soul? Just give you a second to think about that. The garments of the soul. What are the three ways your soul can express itself in your body? I actually want to see if anybody answers that question, because that would be fun. Okay, so I won't make you wait, but the three garments of the soul, those three paths through which the soul can express itself in the body, are the most inner, where the soul expresses itself to the vessel, the light expresses itself to the vessel, that's your thought. And the way the light expresses itself to someone, that's speech. And the way the light expresses itself by working with the physical, by transforming the physical, by connecting with the physical, that's action. So thought, speech, and action are the three garments of your soul. So what I want to bring to you now, and what I would like to propose as your fairy dust for today, your homework for today, is to take an area, identify an area right now if you want. Identify an area in your life where you really have a desire. You really care about something and it's important. You feel it's a real thing, like it's an important thing, like a true thing. Maybe to upgrade a relationship, or to experience true love, or to make a difference for one or more people, or to bring yourself into a state of more health and more aliveness, whatever it is, something good, something real. And then I want you, and this is your fairy dust once again, I want you to write down thought. What are my thoughts? Speech. What am I saying about this? What am I thinking about this? What am I saying about this? And then third, how am I acting about this? Thought, speech, and action, the three garments of the soul. Your soul, as we talked about in a previous live, is literally trapped in your body while it's in your body. So it's a kindness to your soul, as well as very gratifying for all parts of you, to allow your soul to express itself more and more through its garments. So you have to give permission, you have to want that, and then you have to take action. That's the power of the vessels. Here in this world, we're making vessels, asiyata kelim. That's mostly what we're doing. But that's where free choice comes in. That's where knowing what your desire comes in. That's where self-awareness comes in. So what are the thoughts what is the issue that you want to work with in your fairy dust? What are the thoughts you're having, thinking around it? Not just right now, but on a regular basis. I've said this before. They say that 95% of our thoughts are thoughts we've had many, many times before. In other words, we're all robots, except when we're not. We're subconsciously programmed and we just go through our day, blah, 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 repeating the same things to ourselves and to other people, but starting with ourselves. So almost guaranteed that if this is something you really desire and it's not manifested in your life, there are thoughts that you have about that, and they're repetitive thoughts. They're thoughts you've had many times before. Chances are they're mostly not positive thoughts. So what are they? I want you to write those down. And if you feel like sharing them under this thread on Facebook or YouTube, that would be awesome also. I think sharing is a tremendous gift to yourself and to others. So then next, what do you say about it? What do you say about it when you speak about it? And I want to also ask, add to the what do you say is how do you say it? Like when you say, you want to be really healthy and fit. You say, I really need to get fit. Notice the energy. Notice the use of the word need, which need means when you need something, it's actually there's an underlying resonance, frequency of fear. Need and fear equate to each other. And there's also a don't want to be not fit. So none of those things are going to provide proper vessels for your soul's light to flow. So look for how you're speaking, and then look for what you're doing. Generally, these three things will line up together: what you think, what you say, and what you do. If they don't, it's only for a little while. Like, I need to get fit. I'm so, and then maybe you'll go to the gym, but it won't last. How come? Maybe that will be the topic of tomorrow's live. We'll pull out the chart of human design and talk about, really dig into like how you shift from constricted vessels to more expanded vessels, how you start to connect to your soul's desire, which is also your purpose and destiny. Okay, so I think actually that we'll focus on that tomorrow, unless something more important comes up. So for today, I strongly encourage you to do this exercise, this fairy dust. It's super enlightening, and if you want your future not to look like your past in any particular area, you have to take now a conscious, close look at the garments of your soul. Remember I said at the beginning of this live, the vessels control the light. They control whether it gets out, how much gets out, and what form it takes. Is it pure form, or is it distorted form, opposite form? So take a good, clear look, and remember that the darkness, the purpose of the creation is to transform darkness into light, so that the light from the source of creation can shine down into this world just as it does above, into this physical world, and we co-create a dwelling place for the divine, for God, for ourselves, that every person will love to live in. A world of good, a world that doesn't have to end. Yeah, so that's the assignment for today. Really take a clear look and remember that consciousness equals choice. Lots of love from Jerusalem. See you tomorrow.